Hi there everyone, it is currently the 1st of August 2012. We're going to be doing a quick update here because take a look at Japan's radar. It is absolutely just being rocked here by tropical systems. We have Damre off here towards the north and Saola down here towards the south. You can see two distinct center of circulations here on this radar imagery with actually an eye wall forming up here around Saola. Damre as well, it is trying to form an eye wall here just towards the south of Kyushu, both of them moving off towards more of a northwesterly direction, but both of them are affecting portions of Japan. Also, Saola continuing to affect in the east coast of Taiwan, even some of the outflow as far south as the Philippines, where sadly there has been upwards of about 12 reports of deaths here across Luzon. Also, still some people still missing, numerous injuries, and not to mention about 130 people had to be rescued over the past several days due to capsizing boats and ferries. So, still a very dangerous situation down there towards the south. As you can see, you still have that inflow coming in towards Saola, so that's definitely still a developing story. But also look across Taiwan. Let's pull up their radar imagery and take a look at that, because here you can see a very distinct eye wall just towards the east, pushing off towards the extreme western portions of the southern Japanese islands. Look at some of these rain bands actually starting to move onshore here. That's going to be bringing some very gusty winds, very likely tropical storm strength winds in some of these bands that are pushing out there towards the west, but also the heavy rainfall. Rainfall totals over the past 24 hours are really staggering at times, actually. This is actually on the 31st going into the 1st. About 300 plus millimeters recorded there just towards the south of Taipei. Remember that mountain chain is right in here, so well, these rain totals are definitely going to be continuing to build up, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see 500 plus throughout the Wednesday here as the storm continues to cruise off there towards the east. So definitely anybody across these areas, be prepared for low-lying flash flooding, but also landslides on a lot of these steeper elevations within the mountains. Once this ground gets saturated, that ground does start to get a little bit looser and very well could become exceptionally dangerous. And not just here, across many of the southern Japanese islands, where volcanic ash is actually one of the prime things that make up some of these islands. Landslides become that much more of a risk since volcanic ash is not very much of a stabilizing type of ground. But here's the current track from the Japan Meteorological Agency, moving it off towards the north-northwest at this time. Current pressure is 965 HPA. We often see this upgraded to a typhoon below 970. They do say sustained winds on a 10-minute average are at about 65 knots. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center actually has that a little bit higher than that, as they have it at a 1-minute average. But JMA does expect this to intensify up to a strong typhoon before making landfall along eastern China with winds around 80 knots. So definitely it's still a very dangerous system as it continues to cruise off there towards the north, not just affecting Japan and Taiwan, but also southeastern China. You are going to be having to prepare for this by the end of the week as well. Now we're looking at this storm system. Let's take a look at the track for our other one just there towards the northeast. And this is now a severe tropical storm by the Japan Meteorological Agency. Current pressure is at 975 HPA, winds at 55, gusting up to 80 knots. They also expect this to really kind of maintain its intensity as it pushes off there towards the west, maintaining about that 975 HPA pressure before moving off towards the Yellow Sea and then into the Gulf of Bohai. With that said, though, this likely will start to influence with our other storm, Saola, here towards the southwest. I do think Saola will likely steal some of the storm's intensity and weaken it, but at least for the time being, it's far enough away where it's still going to be bringing some very gusty winds across southern Japan. If we take a look at the winds currently out of the region, you can see here that currently at about 1200 Japan Standard Time, some winds upwards of about 16 to 15 meters per second, and even around the Yamani Islands, some up to about 19 meters per second near the center of circulation. So a very strong winds indeed currently being reported out of the storm. And about 19 meters per second actually is about 36 knots. So tropical storm force winds being reported across the Yamani Islands. That's along the left portion of the storm system. I do think that winds could even be higher in this section just towards the right. So once that continues to push off there towards the west, you very likely could be even seeing winds stronger than that, upwards of severe tropical storm strength within this area. Now I know on this imagery it does look like an eye is forming up here. It is fairly exposed, but it definitely is a clear center of circulation around that low pressure area located right in here. Definitely an attempt of an eye wall around this storm. And a lot of the outer rain bands, though, are fairly weak at this time, but still seeing some heavy rainfall push along the southern portions of Kyushu. And if we take a look at some of the rain totals in just the past hour alone, you can see some of these adding up to about 10 to 13, 14 millimeters in just the past hour. I do think this total is going to continue to go up, though, as these rain bands continue to hit this mountain chain right in here, bringing that risk of flash floods. And also, as similar conditions as I mentioned earlier, with the landslides are going to be very high at risk. So two systems here, both of them very potent, very dangerous, not to mention still have that inflow going across the northern Philippines and even down as far south of Manila. You're still seeing some very heavy rains. I saw some reports actually of the Roxas Boulevard right near the coastline there in Manila being flooded today still because of the inflow of this intense moisture. So definitely going to continue to keep you posted throughout the day. Unfortunately, I will not have another update, a video update for another 12 hours. So please check me out on Facebook and Twitter at Robert Speta, and also on the website at westernpacificweather.com. We will continue to keep you posted on both of these storm systems throughout your Wednesday and going into Thursday as they continue to develop. So please stay safe out there, though, everybody, and have a great day. Bye.